Started from the bottom, now we way up, way up. And I got that baddie bitch, she stay. Started from the bottom, now we way up, way up. And I got that baddie bitch, she stay.
All right, hey guys, it's we just watched some fucking necrotic negroid crash his car smoking weed on live stream. This is Azrakul live with Blackpill Uncut. We've got Grelle from the Netherlands, of course, fucking live from straight up from what's that place?
The Belgium.
Yeah, exactly. He's from the shittiest place ever, full of fucking negroids. And what have we got to talk about today? I've been having major just every week, every few weeks, I've been having seizures. I've been having screaming in my head. I don't know if you guys here, Grelle, you can tell me if the audio works on this. Screaming in my head. All right, tell me if you can hear the audio from this.
No.
I hear the screaming in my head.
You fucked up the audio, bro.
Nice.
Okay. Let me try to change the video streaming I'm doing with you. Let me try to do this. Maybe then you'll hear this audio. All right, tell me if you hear this audio.
I don't
I
hear
hear the
anything now.
screaming in my head. It's nice. Yeah.
Can you try the previous once more?
Wait, what? Try to what?
Just the screen sharing.
Oh,
Can you try that again?
yeah, let me try to reopen it. Share screen. This stream should have audio. It should voice and audio. I'm going to talk about meth, so this will be kind of interesting.
I hear the screaming in my head. It's nice. Yeah.
I'm not seeing anything. I'm not hearing anything.
You're not seeing or hearing anything? Dude, Discord is
No.
busted. It's showing me on my end. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay, so you're not going to be able to see or hear anything that I show you. All right. Well, anyway, YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. Is that true? Guys, press 1 in chat if you're experiencing buffering. Oh, that's crazy. Okay.
Our Blackpill streams are always super busted, so
They're always scuffed. We haven't managed to do a good stream. I don't know, since 2021 maybe.
I've never done a good stream.
Have any of them been good streams? Yeah, I don't really know what to say about. Yeah, come watch our stream. Okay, come watch our stream. Well, whatever. This isn't about
Let's just
videos.
get started.
Yeah, let's just get started. Let's just start talking about this stuff then. I'm going to close off of anything. I'm only going to look at the OBS screen and I'm going to read chat because I've just got a lot to say about a lot of nonsense. I'm going to go to show prep here and just see what we posted in show prep. I bought a bunch of alcohol. I said I was going to get Lit Romney for this. I posted a bunch of stuff about how Norwegians, blah, 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 blah. Okay, the market is crashing. Good. The boomers can't retire. Good. You'll never have to buy a house. Good. Never had a chance. You'll lose your job. Never had one. Here's the thing.
Good.
Yeah, good. It's just like Jocko Willing. Good. Good. And just got raped in prison. Ass fucked. Good. Well, I've been having a sort of existential crisis for the past few years that Grelle here has been trying to talk me out of. He's kind of like a nothing ever happens type of bro. You would say that. You would agree, right? Nothing ever happens?
Yeah, nothing ever happens.
Nothing ever fucking happens. But I've been listening to this guy called Paranoid Nigger. Or, excuse, he calls himself Canadian Prepper, but we call him Canadian Nigger, Canadian Prepper, or whatever, Paranoid Nigger. We have so many names for him. And I listen to so many of these people because I don't have a life. I just listen to YouTube all day. I go around cleaning my house, shooting firearms, preparing for the end of the world. And I just realized I'm sitting here. I've got 55 gallons of water. I've got maybe enough food to eat for like a week or two. Not just for me, but for my whole household. So I'm like prepped for a week. What good is that? Like, imagine if you were like a prepper in Donetsk, but you were prepped for a week. What good would that do for you? So I started doing the math. I'm like, what if I needed enough water in my house that I needed to prep for 4 years straight, or even 1 year? I just did 1 year. 4 people, enough water, enough food. And it was like, dude, I would need about 6,000 gallons of water. I would need so many tens of thousands of calories. I'm like, I don't physically have the space, or I don't have $70,000 to spend on all these containers. I'm like, I don't have this. I actually can't prep. And I have all this money in guns and ammo, And I thought that's the prep, right? You just get a bunch of guns and ammo and then you're prepped. But no, no, no. Okay, hold on. Swap your application to resume? What the fuck does that mean? I'm going to ignore that. Okay, so Grelle, give your opinion on this. Do you think it's reasonable to have like 1 week's worth of food or whatever for like a hurricane or something? Living in Florida, I live in Florida, so maybe I have like a
Yeah,
week.
that's more than reasonable. Just have some stuff for a week, but having guns and stockpiling stuff for the end of the normal life, when shit hits the fan, the end of the world as we know it, it's never going to happen that way. So it's just useless.
It is
Your
useless, and
cortisol maxing, stressing about something that will never happen.
I am cortisol, Matt. I tell you what, just streaming about it's not even streaming about it. I walk around in my entire life. I'm like, I have a straight diet of like Peter Schiff, Canadian nigger, paranoid nigger, all these sorts of people that are like, the U.S. dollar's about to collapse. Oh, the U.S. reserve currency, we're debt maxed, and we're leveraged to the gills, and I'm like, oh shit, it's all about to be over. My entire because I don't have any sort of marketable skills or income or anything. Like once this pyramid scheme's done, I'm done. So I'm like, oh shit, I gotta be prepped. I gotta be ready. And I'm like, I don't have enough money. I actually don't have enough money to be prepped. I'm in a townhome, which is like a row home. If you've ever seen those homes stacked together, I, I don't have physically enough space to bring the stuff. I don't have enough money to bring all this stuff. And then even if I did, it would only be for a couple of years. And if you're telling me it's the end of the United States and the end of our reserve currency status, even if I did have the marketable skills, what are my skills worth versus some Pajit or some chink? They'll be working for 75 cents an hour. I can't even compete against them anyway. So I'm in like 24/7 panic mode about just how awful this is going to be. Oh, sorry, guys. There's been so much chats. I haven't read any of them. Yo, Azra, hype stream. I made it. I'm just baking some cookies. I can hear so good. Yeah, it's coming through good. Sup, N words. One. I opened the stream a little bit early. Good. Az set that to top. Isn't prep for gay guys? Yes, exactly. Prepping is for gay guys. Lol, stress maxing. I don't know. Have you watched, Grelle, did you watch that show, The Last of Us, by the way?
No, I don't watch any TV anymore. It's
Okay.
just useless.
Well, have you played the video game The Last of Us? That was on PS3.
Play the gay station? What do you think? I'm a fucking homo?
Ah, okay, you're an Xbox bro. I thought Europeans liked Gay Station. Okay. Well, you know what? I didn't play it either, but apparently they turned one of the characters into a giant homosexual. One of the preppers, there's like a prepper character in the game,
Mhm.
and they turned him into a massive flaming homosexual with his gay husband, who they hadn't done that before. But anyway, yeah, someone said in the chat that isn't prep for gay guys, and yeah, prepping is for gay guys. Hold on, I'm gonna just pull up this live stream on my phone so I can actually see it. And we're getting 9 live viewers. Wow, I can't believe this. Okay, so we got a chat from Ted KSK. First words when opening the stream: Canadian nigger, American nigger. Okay. About the N word. I really don't find that offensive. Like, this is how can black people tell us how to say this word? This is an English language word that's copied from the Spanish Negro.
The word is offensive because it's associated with sub-Saharan Africans.
Yeah.
Any word you'll use for them will become offensive in 100 years just because it's associated with their behavior.
Exactly right. There's nothing. It's kind of like Ebonics. And then I remember when I was a child, and before I was a child, they pushed it in like their mid 90s. And even when I was an early child, I remember hearing about Ebonics, and it was just a funny way of saying ebony phonics. And it just became offensive because obviously, if you start associating phonics with black people, it's going to be offensive because they're an offensive as a people. Like they are an affront to humanity. So ebonics became, oh, that's offensive because black people are inherently offensive. So yeah, what's the point? Fuck black people. Hey guys, press one in chat. Fuck niggers, right? Fuck niggers. Heil Hitler. One in chat. I'm gonna press that. Okay, I'm gonna pull. Grelle, you need to say some stuff. Sorry, I'm like
Well, what I'm seeing
I'm
here
going
in
full
chat from
schedule mode.
TK8, there's always the old-fashioned skills of rape, plunder, and murder to fall back to. That's in a large part what prepping is for. It's really losers with no skills who think when shit hits the fan, they'll be able to use violence to achieve their dream position on top. But they're losers and will probably be shot in the first week of shit hit the fan.
That's my brother's plan. He's like, I'm gonna become a biker marauder. I'm like, you're gonna become a biker marauder, dude. You're gonna get capped. You're gonna get shot on like day
Mhm.
1 or day 2. A biker, like even you see in like the front line in Ukraine, these guys have got APCs, and the moment they dismount, they've got an FPV drone coming in on them, blowing up. It doesn't matter if you've got a BMP or if you got a Striker APC, dude. You're gonna get blown the fuck. All right, we got a lot of ones in chats. TND, clap for TND. Hell yeah. That's exactly what I'm thinking, guys. I don't have enough money to prep for the end of the world. If I had made it on Bitcoin or Dogebonk or whatever, if I had made it on one of those coins where I had like $15 million, I might barely stand a chance to be able to like make a bunker in South Dakota and maybe survive and then die at the end of it. But if there's you lol, love this co-host. Grelle, speak more. Talk about yourself. Say who you are. This is a bunch of people who have never even been on our chat before. So I posted this to the Sven Stuffles Discord. Explain who you are. You're Grelle, and
Really,
we're
who I am. That's a bit of a tough cookie. I'm a Dutchman. I'm racist. I work for a bank, so I'm a professional Jew. What else?
we're like polar
Just
opposites. I'm like an American who's a welfare leech, and this guy's a Belgian who's working for a bank.
actually, I've for my age, I have quite a career, but sometimes I need to blow steam off, and I shit post with my friends on the internet.
Yeah, so we've been in the same Discord since 2000. Discord, Axel's Discord since what, like 2016? I think we're
No,
coming up on
like
10.
that
10.
10 years. Jesus fucking Christ! I'm growing old.
I was literally in high school when I joined as. I wonder if Axel will watch this. Maybe he will. Hey, Axel, shout out, buddy. We still think about you. It's over. We still post memes about you sometimes, but not really anymore.
No,
Um,
not really anymore.
No, it's actually too pathetic now. It's going too well for us. Even me, like somehow I stumbled into some really lucky stuff. Rel's working at a bank. YOLO Bro's doing great, whatever the fuck he's doing, corporate wage slaving, but it's over for you, buddy. You're on Nav bucks. You're like the lowest of the low. You're lower than the welfare migrants.
Mhm.
Sven chat represent. Yeah, pretty much the only people in chat here are people from the Sven Stuffles Discord. So that's cool. All right, as long as we've got live viewers. Oh yeah. Okay. So we wanted to talk about how prepping is mental illness. Prepping is mental illness.
It's neurotic. It's like it's for women and for Jews. It's such a neurotic thing to do. A real Aryan man just takes stuff as it comes. If there is end of the world, we'll fix it then. If you're going to be neurotic all the time and oy vey, it's not safe, and oy vey, I need my gas mask, and oy vey, I need my pills. Well, you're a neurotic Jew. That's my
un-
opinion on prepping.
Unfortunate. I mean, you've seen my profile. I'm not a Jewish person, but I was so neurotic about this for so long. I was like, I'm gonna prep. I'm gonna get the money. I'm gonna build a doom bunker, and none of this stuff panned out. and I'll never be rich enough. I'm not going to be Zuckerberg where I have like $1 billion to go build a doom bunker in Mali or whatever. So I just don't know what to say. I just don't know what to say. Like, if there's nuclear warfare, I don't care. I don't care. Nukes. I'm just gonna pretend nukes are fake until then. I need to get my stress level down. I need to stop having anxiety over this stuff. And whatever. I've all of a sudden I've become like really red pilled. There's all these people who are talking about, and I wanted to hear your opinion. So this is just me watching YouTube videos and reading posts on 4chan in the past and reading posts on X. I've come to the point now where I see these people talking about, oh, the US debt, it's unsustainable and we're not going to be able to pay off all of the interest payments to these people. And I'm like, no, 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 no. You guys don't understand. I'm arguing with people on Twitter. I'm making these long posts about how monetized debt is actually insanely good. It's a great strategy. Everyone's tied into the U.S. economy. They're buying these bonds, and even if they sell off U.S. bonds, they need U.S. dollars because every invoice they have is in U.S. dollars. I'm like hyping up the U.S. credit bubble to an immense degree, and I'm like, this is the best thing ever. I don't know if I'm coping or not. Can you tell me if I'm coping? Because I don't even know. I'm at the point where the tables have turned, and I'm like, oh, I can't prep. Let me start shilling for this pyramid scheme. So, am I right to do this? Is the U.S. dollar going to remain the U.S. reserve currency, or is this going to go like the way of the Netherlands, or the way of the U.K.? Are we about to get like blown the fuck out? Opinion? I know that's kind of that's a
It is
bold.
going to go the way of the UK and the Netherlands, but
All
that
right,
wasn't a
I'm about.
major blow up. It was a slow decline,
All right,
and
I got my
you'll
knife
see that
out. I'm gonna seppuku right now.
it's going to go very slowly. You won't even really notice it, but it started to happen, and it's more like countries like China will try to trade in their own currency with Vietnam and the Philippines and those countries, and in Europe it will be the euro, and it will be more the regional currencies. And the US will still be the US dollar will still be a very strong currency in North America and South America, all over the world in general, but it won't be what it once was.
Okay, so do you think probably just like the case with Russia, the United States is like a regional power, even if it loses its global reserve currency status. Like we're gonna
Even
be
if it loses, even if it loses the global reserve currency status, it will still be a major, if not the global power. The US has too much infrastructure for that to just collapse.
okay. All right, I'm feeling a little bit less neurotic. I'm gonna start sipping on my fucking. I'm gonna actually hold on. I'll be back. You say whatever the fuck you want to say. Okay, I'm gonna be back in about 1 minute. I have to go pour more vodka and coke because I'm having a panic attack. It is what it is. Say I'll get some light music on, and you just read chat and say whatever you want. I hope that's okay. Not to be annoying,
Sure.
but I'm such a neurotic faggot that I can't even handle 9 people watching me.
Okay, so let's check chat. Today's K. I ask as an old, approximately how old are you, brothers? I'm almost 30.
We're almost
I
30. We're
ask them
pushing
both
30.
for pushing 30. Yeah, that's the wall for mana. I ask an older person who thinks Discord is weird as shit. Yeah, it's kind of weird. But it works, and that's what's important. Yeah. A doom bunker quickly becomes a coom bunker. That's probably true. If the nukes are falling, what else are you going to do then? Just jerk off. I mean, it's not like you can go out and lie in the sun when the nukes are falling. It's that's perhaps something you need to add to your prep kit. As a girl, you need to add some goon stuff for a good goon sesh when the nukes have fallen. UK is still fine. Still upper lip, keep calm. Yeah, the UK is really fine. No real economic growth since the 2000s. Pretty hard. I mean, Europe isn't doing that well, but compared to the UK, we're doing great. I'm at the lake hopping on a boat with friends, but we'll watch later. Base have fun on the boat. Yeah, the UK isn't so bad if you're mainly the rural areas. They have some really nice, what are they called? The areas of outstanding beauty. Those are nice, but the cities are just, cities can be nuked. Do you think global market value will continue to increase, or will some major economies implode to the point that the total stock markets can decline over the next few decades? At this point, I think that most stock markets of the most major economies are completely dislocated from the economic realities. The American economy isn't doing that great, but the market is still going up because there is just no connection to the actual between the actual economy and the numbers on the stock market. It's also something you need to keep in mind when you see those people's being like, I'm so rich, I have so much shares. That's all market value. That's they assume their entire portfolio is that worth that much. But when shit hits the fan, you can't really sell it for all that much. You should build your portfolio around the idea of how much the revenues are yearly, not how much the total market cap value is. I'm a bit rambling, but
Okay, I'm back now. I got more vodka and Coke.
your market value is far more volatile than yearly dividends. So you really need to focus on stable dividend companies like Warren Buffett does, that have a good, solid business model and are perhaps a bit undervalued, and that just give you a bit of money each year, and that's what you can live off. And I think with Ezra back with his vodka.
I could drink. You know what's so funny? It's like when I have this much anxiety, right now I've downed about 0.75 liters, and I don't feel slightly inebriated just because I have so much anxiety. And I don't know what it is. This is why people, you guys should definitely go back and watch our streams from 2020 and 2021. I know it's very
Do
hard.
those still even exist?
I don't know.
Are they still online?
You can find them on Odyssey. I know Odyssey is about. I actually need to download them from Odyssey at this point because I don't know how much longer Odyssey is going to be online. So I need to re-download them. But I uploaded them to Odyssey. But those were great streams. We used to talk about a lot of Blackpill subjects. We used to talk about like lookism, physiognomy, the height pill, how you need to wear lifts or something. But I've changed my
Already over
opinions.
these Twitter posts and Lukeism.net posts and insults.co posts, and we're like, yeah, this guy's right. No, this guy is wrong. Oh, it was so much fun.
We were obsessed with black pill stuff. I mean, that's why it's called Black Pill Live. But at this point, we've all just become like racist white supremacists who have realized essentially this stuff's like genetically determined from birth. And really, it doesn't matter. Like, there's no amount of looks maxing. Like, okay, let's say I'm 5'10.5", which is 178.5
That sounds like cope. I'm 5'10"
and a
and
half.
a half.
Yeah, well, you got to inch in every single half inch, every centimeter. You got to get in there. I mean, if I say 177 versus 178, big deal, right? But I'll never be 180. I'll just never be that. So, but I'll push every single centimeter I can get. So, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm 178. What if I wear lifts? I'm gonna be 180. Big woof, big woof. It doesn't matter. What really matters, I think, is your face, definitely, your height. Your confidence is your height for sure. Your personality is your face. Your eye color determines your race. 100%. 100%. That's of course why Jeremy Meeks is white, as we all know. Jeremy Meeks is 100% Aryan. Oh man, I wish you guys knew who Jeremy Meeks was. None of these people know any of our old streams.
No, let's not dive into them. Because otherwise, we'll just be reminiscing all the time and not have making a fun stream for our viewers.
All right. Let's
So
see. The real prep work is to start creating a white mafia network. Some smaller cities like Chester are still very nice. Being 90%, 95% white English have its benefits. Chester's 95% white English. I struggle to believe that. Jesus Christ, 0.75 liters, I'd be dead. Hey, Ted is K. I'm going to assume you're Polish because that name looks Polish. I'm addicted to the date rape drug. I literally take the date rape drug. So yeah, alcohol does nothing. Literally, I have baseline anxiety of like a person who's about to commit suicide, and the alcohol brings me down to like a regular amount of anxiety. So yeah, 0.75 liters, it's done nothing to me. I'm just starting now to sound cohesive and not having a panic attack. So this is from RTRT. Have you considered some nice sniffer therapy for your anxiety? Do you mean sniffing the holes? I have, of course. Of course. Doesn't do much for my anxiety. The Hodge twins are the most Aryan kind of guys. I don't know about that. I'm pretty sure those guys are half black, but for sure TK. For sure TK. You know, this is kind of crazy. Most of the people in the chat today are British or German or whatnot. This is totally different from the normal group. If I had just shilled this to my own Discord, no one would be watching, and yeah, we would have no chat interaction. So I'm glad I
yeah,
shilled this.
because we didn't announce it, we just decided like an hour ago we were going to stream right now.
Exactly. I was like, "Hey, Grelle, can you give me like an hour warning?" And then like 15 minutes later, an hour, he was like, "Hey, you want to go live?" I was like, "Oh, give me another hour." Boom, let's go live.
Now we're here.
Now we're here. Okay, we wanted to talk about slutty nurses. Did you want to get into the
Yes.
slutty nurses thing? Because I'm kind of
Uh,
obsessed. The last two nurses that I've been into, I've really, really, really wanted to grope. I've really wanted to. They've got blue eyes. It counts. No, dude, they're 50% sub-Saharan African. I don't care that they have blue eyes or green eyes. They're not white. No, 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 no. No means people with large sniffing noses. Okay. Okay. Grelle, what did you have to say? What did you want to say about slutty nurses? I know you wanted to say something about that. I saw this
okay,
Indian
so
slutty nurse,
it's
but yeah,
it's this one of the sectors that are the sluttiest and the most adulterous is the medical field. Both doctors and nurses are just they all cheat. It's just nothing but cheating. There are a few reasons for that. First of all, it's a very physical job. They've seen more dicks and pussies than you'll ever do in your life, and they've grown desensitized to it, so they don't really care about using that. Another thing is that they have horrible hours. They all work night shifts, and well, they can't really connect with a normal relationship. So somewhere, sometime, if you have a doctor or a nurse as your partner, they'll be doing 2-3 weeks long of night shifts, and well, it's going to annoy both of you. Another thing is that well, the situations they get in, it's a lot of stress. It's very adrenaline heavy when someone just starts dying on the spot, and you need to revive them. So you're all just filled with adrenaline, and well, that's a good moment to bond with your fellow colleagues. So you have this group of people who can't really connect with people outside of their own job, don't really care about physical intimacy as something special. They don't see it as something special, and they have very intense bonds with their colleagues. So they're all just fucking. So if they have a night shift and it's quiet, they'll just seek an empty room and they'll have some fun. When I was in university, the local the medical faculty fraternity, they had these porno cantuses. A cantus is a song fest where you drink and sing songs. And the porno cantus was they separated the boys and the girls for the first two parts. The girls were given each a bottle of port, strong wine, and they had to finish it before the end of the second part. And the guys were they instead of songs they were just watching porn and drinking. And then for the third part they were all put together. So you have girls so drunk they can't stand, and boys all throbbing horny. And what happened there, you don't want to know. That's the level of doctors. All those people became doctors and surgeons and those kind of. Yeah.
Now, I'll give
So
my take. I'll give my take as an epileptic man who's been in the emergency room. Gosh, I don't know. I've been in the emergency room 6 times in the past year or two. Yeah, some of these nurses, they're very, very forthright about how much they're into you and what's going on. And it's very weird because, like, you'll literally wake up inside of a bed that you've pissed your pants in. Like, they have an entire sheet out for you to piss your pants. I wake up and I've got, like, a thing below me and it's like, oh, yeah, I pissed myself. And you've got, like, this nurse coming on to you and you're like, what the fuck is this? What is this? And it's a very strange
if you went
experience.
in a hospital, if you went under full anesthesia, you've been molested.
Exactly. Oh, they had the catheter and inserted inside of my penis and everything. So they've already molested me. I'm like, I've already been molested. I woke up and I've already had all of my human whatever taken from me. If I was a child, I would be not innocent anymore. They've taken everything from me. So it's very strange. And these people, they're just... What really bugs me about it, especially about how hypersexual they are, is in Florida, especially here in Florida, it's where every single Canadian boomer and every single American, they all come to Florida because it's super hot and it makes their joints not hurt. So if you go to a hospital, especially where people are dying, which is usually where I end up because I have seizures, it's going to be 90% old people who are on their deathbed. So you've got all these nurses who are around all of these old people who are about to meet the Grim Reaper, and it's so hard for me to relate to like that being a sexualized environment. I can't understand it. You got like all these like 70, 80-year-old people who've got emphysema, they're about to die. They look like Skeletor, they're disgusting. And this nurse is like coming on to me, telling me about how. Now, I'm just going to keep it frank, guys. All of my seizures are entirely my fault, and they're engineered because of my creations. I'm not going to tell you the secret behind it, but anyway, it is what it is. But I have to have seizures, so I have seizures, and I have to go to the hospital regularly so that I'm diagnosed as an epileptic. So I have to go there all the time, and I see these people. And I struggle to believe, how do they become so hypersexual when they're around all these 70, 80, 90-year-old people who are so gross looking and on the edge of death? They're corpses, they're Draugr, they're living dead. It freaks me out. That's what I wanted your take on. I know you said they're around penises and boobs all the time, but at least here, most of those penises and boobs are 70, 80 years old. They're far beyond the reproductive ages. I figured it would turn them off, but it just makes them more ravenous. What is that?
It's not it doesn't turn them. It turns them off for that specific person. So when they encounter someone that's young and healthy, well, double their luck, huh?
I see. I see what you mean. So it's not like they're like, oh, this 80-year-old guy, let me start hitting on it. But it's like they're giving me this advice. They're like, this woman's like looking deep into my eyes and telling me about how like, what do you call it? The medicine that they're going to prescribe me. Make sure to you look into the side effects and da-da-da-da-da-da. She's like giving me this heartfelt warning about it, and she's like putting her hand on my elbow as I've got the IV where they're putting the fluids and the whatnot into your blood and system or whatever. Mm-hmm. And she's like, make sure before you start taking whatever medication they recommend to you, make sure that there's no side effects and da-da-da-da-da. And she starts rubbing your head and stuff, and I'm like, this is a bit overdone. So you think it's probably the way that they treat me is just because I'm a pushing 30 guy as opposed to pushing 90?
Yeah, and generally nurses, they have a, how do you say it, a maladjusted motherly instinct, so they really want to care for you, because often they actually do care for you. It's just that some other parts of their psyche aren't entirely lined up correctly.
So Furby Cloaca says, "Come on, Az, I want to know how to make my own seizures at home too." Well, Furby Cloacoa, if you direct message me on Discord and you add me as a friend, I know who you are. I can tell you how to have seizures. If you actually want to know how to have epileptic seizures, I can give you. If you're going to implement that information to the same degree that I have, to where you get neat bucks for life, I can tell you. But I'm not gonna spill the beans on that on live stream, because obviously I'm a natural epileptic, and this was caused by what the army did to me. But if you
The radiation stuff, no?
yeah, exactly. It was the radiation from the satellite systems. It was the radiation from, or it was the COVID vaccine or whatever. For sure, it was 100% the Army's fault. But if you direct message me on Discord and you're actually curious about why I have epileptic seizures, I might be able to tell you how that happens. And if you can leverage that in your own personal life, no problem. I can tell you that. But I need you to direct message me on Discord, and I need to know who you are, and I can trust you before I tell you how to do that.
We have a comment from Tedeschi. I can't imagine how work nurses must be having to that daily. It was a really weird experience. Yeah, it's you also sometimes hear that the angel of death phenomenon, where the nurses think they know better than the family and the doctor, and they will quietly euthanize the patient because they can't see them suffer. That's something that is actually quite common as well. Like, I think it was a quarter of all deaths in the hospital are because of a nurse or a doctor did something. Mostly errors, but sometimes also the unasked euthanasia.
That's the thing. If I was a nurse or a doctor, and I saw a person who was, let's just say, not European in any sense, I would be pushing towards things that shortened their span of life. I would be pushing to that towards the fullest degree, for sure. Years ago, I had to help a neighbor with her 100% mother, and the absolutely bizarre feeling of holding that woman in my hands and how thin and frail she felt was stuck with me to this day. I know what you mean. You know, my grandmother, the oldest relative in my family that I knew, my father's mother, I think she was 85 when she died of brain cancer or brain tumor. And she was totally physically able up until like she got a brain tumor, and then she went to the hospital and then she just died. So, but for the few days she was in the hospital, she was so frail. I didn't see the point of living. At that point, I was like, okay, you're never going to be. I don't really see the point. Like, there's all these people, even in the United States, you see all these people who are 60, 70, 80, and they're what we call Walmart Americans. They go around on these scooters. They don't walk, and they're just these fat, useless pieces of shit that collect Social Security disability insurance. And now I'm throwing stones in glass houses. I'm a totally physically able person who collects probably more money than they collect, and I'm fine. So I don't want to throw shade on them, but it's not going to work long term for this country. So I'm prepared to die at 50 or 55. No problem. If I become physically unable, I'm prepared to die. But I see what you mean. Let me read more chats. UK nurse Lucy Letby, innocent or guilty. Do you know anything about Lucy Letby? I'm going to Google this. I've never heard Lucy Letby.
I'm going to.
I'm gonna pull that up on Yandex. I think that's my default search for some reason. Lucy Letby is a former British neonatal nurse who was convicted of murder of 7 infants and the attempted murder of 7 other between June 15th and June 16th, June 2016.
Mhm.
Okay, so this was a baby. This is a nurse who is strangling babies. No, I don't. I don't exactly think that fits the profile of what we're talking about. Killing
But it
old.
fits the profile of nurses being totally fucked up.
It fits the
Yeah,
profile.
it happens. She's
Ever,
old.
even just the smell of that old woman triggers really emotional or something. I mean, talking about smell. Ugh. Sorry for all the burping. About a smell and cancer, I noticed an interesting thing. I had 2 golden retrievers when I was a child growing up, and when they started to become cancerous, they started to smell really sweet. There was this very strange smell that came from them, and I could smell the smell of cancer coming on them. And later, when I was watching Sverige, as Americans say, Sverige, and Europeans say Sverige. So to all of you guys, you should be able to understand who I'm talking about. Sverige approved. Um, he says that cancer comes from people who eat too much sugar. And I noticed that when both of my dogs were becoming cancerous, their wounds smelled like sugary blood. Their open wounds, their open, festering, cancerous wounds smelled like sweet blood. And just recently, my dog was smelling like that. So my most recent dog might be going cancerous. But I don't even remember what my point was. But yeah, that smell triggers some thoughts in me. At RT, I'm guessing Az was part of the secret space program that got turned into a super soldier with seizure powers. No, my seizures, Grelle, you probably. I've posted so many times about what causes my seizures. I would be surprised if Grelle doesn't know what causes my seizures. I've posted so much about it. I'm 99% sure you have an idea about what causes my seizures. You know, right, Grelle?
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
you.
I have an idea. I have an idea what might be the issue.
He has a vague idea of what's going on. Definitely not my fault. Definitely the U.S. Army's fault, for sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
all those weird raiders. You were a raider operator, and it just cooked your brain, and now you're seizing the fuck out.
It's exactly the U.S. Army's fault. It's nothing to do with any drugs I'm taking. So, Furby Klakoa says, because it doesn't show up on a drug panel test that they do at the emergency room. So, Furby Klakoa says, I've always felt like twitches and seizures were the one thing missing from my look. TK says, venerating life for life's sake is sick and Indian like. I don't know about that. Indians are pretty obsessed with dying and getting crushed under wheels. To do a
Yeah,
K. What do you got to say?
that's really funny about the Indians dying. They they worship it getting crushed on their trains. It's really funny. Have you read a post about the Juggernaut and those massive carts with the divine statues? And if you died underneath it, you instantly go level up in the cycle of reincarnation.
And even then, I've seen people who are like, they've got T50s and their skin is like the color of brown paper bags. And they're like, I'm a Brahmin. I was born a Brahmin. I will die a Brahmin. And it's like,
It's
okay.
just Indian.
All right, you're a fucking Indian to me, dude. Like, I don't care how fucking if you say you're a Brahmin, like, you are black. So whatever. If that's what you claim, I may not have the lightest blue eyes. I may not have the lightest skin, but you are a dark Indian. I don't care if you claim to be Brahmin. TK Space Force. Seizure powers is the key to defeating all of the redacted enemies. YouTube censored me. Oh, let me pull up my phone. Let me see. My phone has been the only place where I've been able to not pull down these. Okay, at Azrakul, the smell comes from polyamine. It is produced from the cells dividing quickly. It's strange stuff. That's interesting. The sweet cancerous smell. It's a real thing. Okay, I've noticed it. I've noticed cancerous people smell that way. At Ted Chaos Z, Ted Chaos K. I've always wondered why he goes by Sverige when he's Latvian or something. Well, I can tell you the lore behind that. The reason why he learned Swedish was that in Latvia, they have like because Latvia was like a former Soviet country. They've only got like when he was a kid 5 channels on the TV, and one of the channels was Swedish TV. So they had like channel 3 Sverige, and that was the Swedish channel, and it was all in Swedish, just because they could pick it up. So why not watch it? So that's why he's called Sverige. And then also, I think because he thinks he's genetically a Viking, as he says, he's a Viking. I don't claim that. I don't claim I'm a Viking because I've got dark brown hair and I'm swarthy. I don't claim to be a Viking, but Sverige can for sure because he's pretty light skinned and whatnot. Regular Sven cell meetup, seizures from severe combat PTSD. Yeah, for sure, Moa. I went through a lot of combat PTSD. There's nothing I love more than telling random women I meet about the Juggernaut. Sar! We're Aryan, Sar! And then we've got another post by TK here. But the Indians also worship people who are 90% tumor living on forever. That kind of reminds me of the, I don't know if you've ever seen Blade. In the movie Blade, there's a guy living in the bottom of the tower who like watches computer screens all day, and he's a giant fat vampire. Not gonna lie, they're kind of smelly looking. Yeah, Indians are smelly looking. It's not just the smell. You look at them and you can smell the smell just from the look. Indians are not like us. We are people. Best not compare us to them.
That's true. It's perhaps a bit overdone, but in 40k in Warhammer, the Skaven. No, it's not 40k. It's in a Warhammer Fantasy. The Skaven, the red people, those are really just Indians. Indians are Skaven. It's insane. Do you know them, Asrico?
I've never the only 4K experience I have is from the Total War, Warhammer 4, and I know that they ruined my favorite game series, Total War. I've never played any of the Total War Warhammer stuff. I don't know anything about Warhammer. I don't know any of the lore. I get some of the idea just because I've seen so much of the stuff posted on 4chan and Twitter, now X. So, like, I think I get a basic understanding of the universe, but I couldn't tell. I'm assuming the Skaven are some sort of subhuman
They're,
that are
yeah,
against
they're
the
not even human.
Imperium.
They're rats. They're stupid rats that breed like rats, and they live in the ruins of older civilizations. And the only thing they can do is ruin and badly copy and be stinky and smelly and stuff. So they're just Indians.
That's exactly right. Like, Alexander, didn't he conquer India? Or at least Afghanistan? Like,
He conquered Afghans. He went up to the Indus. So and there he almost he crossed the Indus, but his troops wanted to go back home because they were like on campaign for almost a decade at that point, and they just wanted to go home.
yeah.
Uh, yeah.
Imagine getting to 10 years of campaign and you're like, bro, I don't want to go further into India. Like, I want to go back to Greece. Like, I want to go back to civilization. I want to go back to humanity. I want to go back to Indo-European society. I can kind of empathize with Alexander's
Like,
troops at that
just
point.
just imagine you're a veteran from somewhere in Macedonia. You've been fighting in the phalanx for Alexander for years at that point, and then you come at the Indus River, and across it you can just smell India. You would also just want to go home. You'd be like, Alexander, bro, I fought for you for 10 years, but no more. Let's go home, bro.
can we just get? And he set out. You know what? He was like, all right, let's go home. And then he set out a bunch of people who established empires that really set out history as we know.
No, it was the Diadochi, the followers of Alexander. So Alexander, yeah, he tried to make one big empire and merge the Persian and the Greeks an intermarry and such, but well, he died without an heir. And so he said, like, yeah, it goes to the strongest. And what follows was like 40 years of civil war, and all the empires broke apart.
Oh, I want to hear your take on this because he had what do you call that? Idiochromia. What do you call it? When you have one brown eye and one blue eye. What do you call it?
Heterochromia.
Yeah, okay, I want. This is a take I've been wanting to hear from Grelle. Listen, Grelle is a legit white supremacist. I'm a meme white supremacist. I say this as someone who is, not the whitest guy ever, very swarthy, but I wanted to.
You're a thick,
I've
just
wanted to hear your take on this. Now we're in 2025. We're in April, January, February, March, April. We're in May of 2025. I've wanted to hear your take on this for the past 7 or 8 years. What do you think about people with heterochromia?
they're white.
Okay, they're
Well, if
white. Any heterochromia whites, you're fucking out there. You're 1 in 1,000. You're 1 in 10,000. Whatever you are, you just got to prove for my based white supremacist friend that you are in fact white. Okay,
race is more than just eye color. So if they're white in the other aspects, they're white in
there's
general.
no doubt that Alexander was white. I mean, from his generals, from his father, from his heritage, from his accomplishments, there's
It
no
was
way.
probably Gallic in ethnicity.
Okay. Alexander was white. Who would have heterochromia? Question mark. Yeah, Stephen Malaya. You don't know what heterochromia? He means he had one brown eye and one blue eye. That was the meme about.
Heterochromia is more than that. It's just not one solid color for the eyes. It can be that your iris is half and half as well, so you can have like one blue eye and then a green blue eye, for example, or you
Yeah,
can have a green eye and a blue eye, or any combination of colors. It's really fascinating.
but unfortunately, I'm sorry for you solid T50 bros. You have some sort of non-European admixture that's overwhelmingly destroying your phenotype. So it's kind of nothing. Okay, this is from your Liz friend. I have dark brown black eyes. This is from a woman who is fully Northern European. She's done a DNA test. She's posted her DNA test from Ancestry.com. She's Finnish. This is what Ancestry.com or 23andMe. She's fully English and Welsh and Finnish. And
Svengolian, so
she's
she
a
has some.
She's a Fingolian for sure.
Yeah. No, but talking about whiteness tests, another one is if you look at the inside of your arm, if you can see the blue veins, that often means you're just white. That's also the origin of having blue blood comes from. It was originally a Spanish nobility test because the Spanish nobility used to be mostly Germanic, while the lower classes, the peasantry, would be more Moorish and Northern African. And so blue blood was to denote Germanic, pure white ancestry. And well, that's actually what that means. So if you can look at the inside of your wrist and you can see the blue veins, then that probably means you're white.
All right, that's a very interesting test from Grelle. I just posted it in the Sven Stuffles Discord on general. I'm going to go there now. You guys can see my blue veins. You basically can't see a vein that's not blue vein, or that's not blue. I just started sharing it on screen, I guess. Hold on, let me stop streaming video, share your screen. Entire screen, blah 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 blah. But yeah, anyway, so guys, here's the thing: if you can't see your blue blood if you can't see your veins, if your nipples aren't, if you have I'm just gonna say this. This is if you go to Varg's Twitter. This is a very funny thing about Varg's Twitter. Thulian perspective. You know him, of course. Everyone knows Varg Thulian perspective. If you know him, he's like the ultimate barometer of are you white? And every single Brazilian and every single guy from Colombia or whatever who's like 45% Native American. It's like, Varg, am I white? Am I white? Am I white? You know, none of them are. You gotta just kind of trust your eyes. That's the way it is. And I can see my blue veins, so I'm gonna assume based off of my what do you call it? 75% Northern European heritage, and then 15% unsure Baltic. Are Baltics white? Who knows? 15% Hungarian. Who knows? Are Hungarians white? Who knows?
Well, they're Hungarians, so yeah, of course they're white.
It says Aryans. That's what it says. I'm gonna read the chat more. I have dark brown eyes. That's over for you. RT smart move. I have hazel eyes. It's over for you. I'm 100% white. It's over for you. Green eyes don't really exist. They are blue eyes with brown mixed in, making them appear green. That's true. I got blue veins. Well, then you're white. Whoa. I'll post proof in the Discord. Very true. Pretty sure I'm 70% Malgoth. Sorry, dude. I don't know what Malgoth is. That sounds like something from Lord of the Rings. I got
No,
black.
Malgoth is the god girl at the mall. You at the retard.
Is that some sort of Canaanite god? Because that sounds Jewish to me. Oh man, we've already been streaming. I had a record. I was like, we're going to stream for an hour. We've been streaming for an hour and 1 minute. Okay.
Nice.
We made it. Let me just read the chats, and then we're going to go to some sort of outro video, and then get out of here. I'm sure Grelle and I will be back in a month or 2 or 3. Whenever we'll be back. We can't listen. When we streamed, we did these 20 episodes. I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna go to Google and pull up Odyssey Blackpill Live. All I get is Devon Stack, of course. I'm gonna go to my channel, Azrakul. Here we go. I'm gonna post this in chat. Hey guys, if you want to watch the old episodes of Blackpill Live, they're right here. They're basically the same as this episode. Maybe a bit different. We got 11 concurrent live viewers right now. That's basically what we always got, except these are totally different live viewers. I'm glad to have different live viewers. Very glad. I'm glad we make it to an hour, but we can't.
You guys really don't need to watch the old streams.
No, you need. We finally got Furry Supreme. Furry Supreme showed up and he said, "What's happening? You gotta rewatch the whole live stream, bro. You want to see what's happening? You gotta rewatch the whole live stream. Great stream."
We're talking about what tests can determine if someone's white.
Yeah, exactly. Eye color, nipple color, skin color, phenotype, genotype, everything. We're really doing the deep dive. My eyes are actually heckin' gray. Me too. So I guess I might just be the whitest. That's kind of freaking cool. And this is from your list friend. The stream was so fucking epic. Yeah, I agree. It was so fucking epic. We made it an hour. You know what? I had such anxiety starting the stream, and now that I've had about a liter of vodka, I feel no anxiety at all. Grelle, did you have any final thoughts about this stuff before?
We need to prepare better for the next time.
No, fuck
like we
preparing.
always say.
Fuck preparing. Preparing is for fucking nerds.
Okay, then we won't prepare for next time.
We'll never prepare.
And we'll see when we can do another one of these streams. Perhaps not next week, the week after.
No, not a week after. We'll probably see you guys in like 3 to 5 months. I think that's when we'll. I think that's when we'll really get it. Okay, guys, I love you, and yeah, I love you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, Grell wasn't happy. He wasn't happy with the fact that we didn't cover cold approaching. I'm just going to give my quick take on cold approaching. I've cold approached 3 women in my entire life, and all 3 of them have said that they had a boyfriend and they weren't interested in talking to me. And I went, oh, okay, that's cool, and I walked away. So I've relied entirely on women talking to me. What's your opinion on cold approaching, Grell? Before we end the stream, what's your opinion on cold approaching women?
Cold approaching is totally abnormal, and if anyone tells you that you need to cold approach to meet a woman, then you just need to kill him or her.
Very fucking true. Cold approaching is bullshit. It's
It's absolutely insane.
if you're not being approached by women, you're an incel, dude. Like, you are a true cell. If there is no woman coming up to you to talk to you, like, it's game over for you. You understand that? You understand that, incel? I really hope you get that. You get that through your thick skull. All right, and
Okay, you don't need to be so
it's true
aggressive
though.
about it.
It's true. It's true though.
It's
It is
true.
true. But I don't mean to be so mean, but like, if there's not a single woman in your entire life who's ever come up to you and started a conversation with you, which I've talked to enough guys, and that's the case for a lot of them. If there's not a single woman who's come up to you and started talking to you in your entire life, It's over for you, dude. It's over. Just get the rope ready or go ER or whatever you're gonna do. It doesn't really matter. It's over for you. That's my take. Did you have a differing opinion?
Women don't always show their interest in the most direct of manners, but yeah, if a woman hasn't shown interest in you, then you don't need to approach her at all.
Yeah, approaching is for betas. Essentially, if you're approaching, you're a beta.
No,
Yeah.
if you're approaching, it's already too late.
Exactly.
If she doesn't show interest and you approach, it's not going to work.
At
If she's
RTRT,
not,
I approach women queuing in the store. They can't escape. That's not a good strategy. And
yeah, that's not going
gaslighting
to work.
isn't even real. Okay, anything else we cover? That was the one thing we forgot. Approaching women. Approaching women is for betas and incels.
Yeah.
We forgot that. We were talking post-stream, and it's the one thing we forgot.
Now we're going to end it for real. Okay.
Okay. End stream. I'm gonna end the mic. I'm gonna end the Discord, and all you're gonna see is minions again. All right. This is the Israeli minions.
Later.
We love the Zionist state. Yashahem Israel. Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Fucking annihilate all those Arabs. When the United States does total fucking Islamic death on Iran, I'm gonna be smug posting on my Discord, Sven Stuffel's Discord, and it'll be so cool. All right, yeah, fuck Muslims. Heil Hitler. See you guys.
Ella